Hey guys, we're back. This time we're taking a look at the expansion for Galaxy Truckers, the second edition. This is Galaxy Truckers Keep On Trucking. It is the Czech Games edition, and this is, like I said, the expansion to the second edition of Galaxy Trucker. It has a mix of a couple of the different expansions from the first edition. I didn't play first edition too much, so I don't know what pieces went with what, but they added some new of the achievements. They added the gray aliens to this. They added the rough roads cards. They also added the new models. I think it was the new truck player boards, as well as some new event cards and things too. So we're gonna get in and take a look. So in here, I know in the base game they came with a ton of Ziploc bags. I don't think this came with as many bags, but I still separated everything in my little plastic containers. So first up, we have our Keep On Trucking manual. This is laid out very similar to the original. It explains the different parts. There's 5 different sections of the expansion. You can mix and match all you want. Oh yeah, there's new equipment too, new ship tiles. I forgot about those. New event cards, new ships, new achievements for the titles, they call them, for the transgalactic trek, the rough road cards, and new adventure cards, which they go into more detail on here. There's junkyards, wide open space, meteor vortex, antitrust check, and a bad day. Then we have our new technology. So these are our new ship parts. You have the indestructible plating, which is kind of cool, and that's on various components. You have the combined components. So there you can see a laser engine, cannon engine, whatever they call it, and then a hazardous and standard cargo compartment. Boosters are probably the most complicated thing, I think, in this new version. And there's a whole section on how they work, but basically they power, you can power things connected directly to the booster or a chain down. I'm not positive on that, so I haven't used the boosters much myself. It works the same way with engines, and I'm not sure how the shield boosters work. Again, I haven't played with those ones yet. Same goes for the furnace. I believe these you combine to a battery pack, and when you use the furnace, you put unwanted cargo cubes in there. So like your blue cubes you throw in there, it'll burn them, it'll generate power and recharge batteries. Not one I've used myself. The catapults are interesting, but I don't know. I don't think they're going to be all that useful. And the idea with the catapults is that they're a weapon that can shoot forward as well as in the directions of the arrows. And it has to be adjacent to a cargo bay, and the cargo bay has to have cubes in it. You take the cube from the cargo bay, put it in there, and fire it in any of those directions when you need a weapon. Stasis chambers light up extra crew. If something were to happen to your crew, you can wake crew up out of stasis and fill in adjacent life pods. And then the new life support systems for the new aliens. And they have a completely new mechanic where the original aliens boosted weapons and engines. These guys have cards. You draw a card after you're done building your ship to see what role your alien has, and they all do different things. So it's kind of a random jackpot there if you get something. And then we have our new ship cards, or boards, which we'll get to when we get the components out and check those out. And then some new things for the transgalactic trek. They have a new scoring thing for them, the title dock. Some various, a 2-player variant. And then the rough roads on the back. These I've glanced through. I've never played with the rough roads, and because they make things super difficult. So you really got to be a advanced player. And almost every time I play, I'm teaching somebody new, or I've forgotten because it's been a while. So we kind of skip those. But definitely, they've been around for a while. They were print and play, and now they're an actual thing. And this goes through your different new stuff on the back, kind of a quick cheat sheet. So in the box here, we also have a little flyer for some of their other games. It's funny that they advertise Galaxy Trucker in the expansion to Galaxy Trucker, but I would assume you would have it before you bought the expansion, but who knows. Yeah, we got our new title tokens. I think these are only used if you're playing with certain components from Keep on Trucking. So keep that in mind. Here we have our dock here, and that's where these are going to get put in. On round 1, if you get one of the achievements, it's worth 3 points. Round 2, or day 2, it's 6 points. Round 3, it's 9. They also have the 4, 8, and 12. I think you're supposed to use those with various player counts, which side you use. I don't remember which is which, but that is what that is for. We have a handful of new astronauts, as well as the new Cyan aliens. And because of the new aliens, I think they added some more life support pods. And because they added more life support pods, they had to add more astronauts so that you have enough in case you use every pod, which I don't think has ever happened in one of our games. And we got some more cargo cubes, because again, there's more cargo. So more options to get cargo. I don't think you're ever going to need the extras, but there might even be enough to add an extra player, which might be interesting. Then we have our player boards. As you can see here, the 1A, they are a bit more complicated. The other thing to keep in mind here is that 2, 3, or 4 hits this, so only a 1 misses over here, and a 12 is still a hit over here. Same going the other way, a 1 misses here, but a 12 is still a hit. So much easier to hit components on these versus the other ships. Then we've got, of course, there's 4 of these. On the flip side, the 2A board. This one seems like it's backwards to me. It's wider in the front. It's got that V shape to it. Interesting ship. Again, here it's a little harder to hit. You've got the 4 to 10 on these. I think you can use it. I'm not sure. Because there's doubled up numbers on here, which is weird. I'm not sure how that works. I will have to look into that more. I can tell I have not played with these yet. But yeah, the numbers on the top and bottom here are doubled up and they're reversed. So I'm sure it's explained in the rules. And then, of course, the 3rd player ship is on the inside of these. If I can figure out how to open them. And it is the most unique, which it goes this way, but it won't fit on camera. That is your 3A. Very interesting on these. I'm not sure if these are the same as the ones that were in the 1st edition. I know they had another expansion, new models or something, and that had some even more different boards. So hoping to see those in the future, because I know there was one that had like 3 little ships and things like that. So those would be cool to see in the future. But we have our components, which we'll get to that, the new ship parts, in a minute. We have our new alien cards. Again, the sleeves are the wrong size. They're on order. But so whenever you have a Cyan alien on your ship, or Cyan, however you say it, you're going to draw one of these. They're going to be shuffled up. And depending on which one you draw, your guy is going to have a different role throughout the course of the game. They have a basic description on here, a picture description, as well as a clarification in the rule book on what they mean if you're still confused. Some interesting guys there, though. Those are going to be a cool new mechanic just for the fact that they're random. Next we have our new cards here. There's some 3s, some 2s, looks like 3 of each. The meteor vortexes are interesting because the meteors come from all different directions. On bad day, this depends on what tier of adventure you're on. So if you're on the 1st tier, you're only going to have to deal with a virus. If you're on the 2nd tier, you're going to have to deal with both of these. And if you're on the third tier, you got to deal with all three. So that's kind of cool. Scales a little bit. Then we have the junkyard. So in the junkyard, you can get shot at to take that. You can face a meteor swarm for that, which is not really meteors, it's debris. I think they talk about that in there. You can lose crew to get this, or drop a cargo to speed up. There's a bigger meteor vortex. That's a lot of meteors. There's our wide open space. So in this case, you're going to go double whatever the amount of engines you have is. Same with the original one. If you don't have any engines, you're eliminated. There's another junkyard with some different effects. An even bigger meteor vortex. That's insane. Antitrust check. This is described in the book. I can't remember off the top of my head what it does. But it's something like the person with the most, I think, has to give up one. Pretty sure that's what it was. And then another more violent junkyard encounter. But those will get added into your normal decks, add a little bit more variety to the events that pop up. Then we have a little promo card showing off the digital version of the game. I actually have this. It's not bad. It has a story mode, so a solo player thing, which is kind of fun. And then we have the rough road cards. And I have not played these, so I'm not sure the exact trigger. I don't know if one comes up each day or what, or something triggers them. But the various ones give you different limitations and things that are going to happen throughout the course of your adventure. And yeah, they really make things difficult. There's a whole bunch of these, though. I'm not going to flip through all of them, but definitely some interesting stuff in there. Like I said, it's been a print and play for a while, and now they have actual components for it. And then finally, the last thing here, we'll look through our new ship components. There's quite a few new ones in here, and then just some mix and matches of things. So here we have another catapult. And you can see here, it's got the little arrows. Those are the three directions it can shoot in. This section here, it only has one connector. It has to be connected to a cargo bay, though, because you have to load the cargo from that bay into this in order to use it. There's just some reinforced hull plating. No extra thing on there. So anything that hits these from any side, even heavy weapons fire or large meteors, does not destroy that component. And we can see a combo one. This is a crew compartment and has the indestructible panels on the one side. So they mix and match a few of those. There's a cargo pod with a indestructible panel on it. It's only a single cargo, though. There's a single hazardous cargo with the same. Got our Cyan alien life support systems. I want to say there's like 6 or so of each of these. I don't know off the top of my head. There's the generator. So these you put next to a cargo bay, and you can take cubes out of the cargo bay, stick them in here, and they'll actually recharge batteries, give you back batteries. There's a corner connector with some indestructible plating. Oh, what do we got? Some more of those. Here's some of the boosters. Now, I'm going to forget which booster's which, because they all look similar to me. But there's a booster. There's a booster. I think they're color-coded. There. Those are your 3 different boosters. I can't remember which ones are which. Like I said, I haven't used those because they're very weird, and they're going to take some more getting used to. Then the last thing we have in here are the stasis pods. And these need to be connected next to a crew compartment, depending on which. You can have multiple crew compartments off of one of these, which is nice. But yeah, this one, for instance, gets 4 astronauts, and they can't be used for anything while they're in stasis. However, if anybody in any of the connected crew compartments dies, these guys wake up and take over. And I think that's it. The more is just more of the same. Oh, and a combined cargo bay there. So you got a red and a normal cargo bay together. There's 2 blues and a red. That one's really nice. Oh, yes, and how could I forget the combined cannons and engines. So these, you got to be really picky where you put them on your ship. They do come into play like on these new shipboards. You get this nice little spot right here where there's nothing behind the engine, nothing in front of the cannon. So those are kind of neat. But same for those, the single ones. I don't know if there's a double of those. I don't think there is. I thought there were more of these combined ones, but I don't see very many. There's only a couple. There's another one. So yeah. Well, there's another one. This is maybe, what, 4? But yeah, that's a quick look at the things in here. Again, with the catapults, this one's a little more easier to see. It shoots in those 3 directions. I believe that the cool thing about these is that you can have another component here, and this catapult can still fire that direction because it launches over. You just need to make sure that you have a cargo bay somewhere. That one won't even connect. Connected to it so that it can feed the cubes out of there for ammo. And keep in mind that any cubes you fire, you're not going to be able to sell later on. So try to use those blue ones if possible that are only worth 1. That about wraps up our look at Galaxy Trucker Keep On Trucking. What do we think of this expansion? It adds some cool new stuff. The new shipboards are cool. The new events have some interesting things in them. I like the Hisian aliens. Rough roads, a little bit beyond me still, so we haven't really got much to mess with them. And a few of the new components are kind of confusing. The catapult, for instance, isn't that confusing, but it doesn't get used very often because it costs you cargo to use, and they're just not that great. The fact that they can shoot in 3 directions, I guess, is, I don't know. It's a trade-off. I gotta have to use them more to see if they're worth it. The boosters definitely are a little complicated at first, but I think the more I use them, we're gonna get the hang of them. I just need to play games more with the same people and not have to train new people each time. Each time I teach new people, we kind of take this stuff out, so we never get to the point where we're using everything. So definitely want to work towards that. But overall, I think it's a good expansion. It adds some cool new stuff to the game. If you've been playing a lot, the new shipboards alone will give you some new replayability. The Cyan aliens are fun. And again, these armor plates are really fun because depending on where you put them on your ship, pieces of your ship basically become invulnerable. And you can properly place these if you're good at getting them to protect vital areas of the ship. And definitely a nice change there. The generators are kind of so-so. Recharging batteries can be useful, but I'd rather just make sure I have enough batteries in the first place. That's just me. Your mileage may vary. Again, you got to sacrifice cargo cubes to use those, though. So keep that in mind. And yeah, overall, it's a nice little pack. And if you're a big fan of the game, I think you're going to enjoy everything in here. That said, let me know down in the comments if this looks like something you'd be interested in, or if you've played it, or how many mistakes I made because I haven't used all the components. I'm sure people will comment that too. And let me know what you think. Anyway, as always, thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.